Well, we will have a test run here. It's pretty fucked up Star Citizen as usual, but this time even more. So we hardly can scroll. It is our 5th attempt now. We want to send some money over to Rath because we want to have a track on how much money we actually gonna make today. And yeah, here. So we have 17.388 mil. That is approximately the amount of money we need in order to be able to buy the Asgard in-game. That is our main goal, but we want to make sure that we have a clean slate. So we wanna actually track how much money we gonna make today. And we wanna send some money over. And so we have 3.8. Okay, send. Now we have 10 mil straight. That is what we wanted to. So we need to wait on Rath because it might be that he's still not around here. We also tried to make a party, but it's not possible. So we already know this is gonna be a pain before we even started. We got decent frame rate, pretty high actually. We got 26, no 20. It was on 29, which is pretty high for Star Citizen at least. And sometimes we got 60 frames. This is incredible. 60 frames, that is pretty smooth. Everything works pretty fine. But now we probably need to relog because we ain't able to create a party. Hey, party works. How is that possible? So we're waiting on Rab. He tries the second time to come over here to Pyro. He made it. He landed in Arbitrary. Ship is at Arbitrary, but not here. Yeah, that is, we gotta say sorry for that bad start, I guess. And yeah, let us know if you can hear us okay. We stream on 4 platforms concurrent, and we have no idea how the performance is. We scaled down the resolution a little bit. Alright, looks like as if he's on the way. This is a group activity. Ideal amount of crew members would be 4. It would be absolutely fast. Fast and efficient. But we are just the 2 of us. Seems to be busy today. Yeah, and with the number of the people increasing, frame drops, as you can see. So there is not a too big promise. It is like a pain in the ass. We already know. So what we want to is we want to have some crooks looks with us just to be safe. What else do we have? Our golden gun and the tractor beam. So the Degnous route dilemma. Let's have a check. Do we even record? No. This is the Degnous route dilemma, where we want to deliver something about 480 SUs of Degnous route.
Vehicle selected. Please visit us again.
Alright, we are here at Arbitrary, retrieved our ship. This is the Degnous route dilemma, and the dilemma is not the low frame rate that we have right now. No, the dilemma is that we have something about 480 SUs of Degnous route. At least that is the number that we need to have in order to have complete run. And how does that work? There are 2 locations in Pyro where you can buy Degnous route. You can buy 48 SCUs of Degnous routes when max inventory, and the biggest box is 2 SCUs. And that means that we have something like 240 boxes. 2 SCU boxes. We bring some... Oh no, this is gonna be a pain. Yeah, sorry for that. This is gonna be a pain. Now we are below 10 frames per second. And we ain't masochistic. Not when it comes to boxes. So what we do is we go here and say best. We could go to EU. Can we go to EU? Yes. So it says now 60 frames per second, but we are in the loading screen. Hey, imagine that. 60 frames is the absolute maximum that Star Citizen is able to deliver, while in the loading screen, where the only one thing visibly is that loading circle bottom right. And of course, we know in the background something else is going on. They're loading stuff in here. Some rooms, habitations, space station, pyro station, fire, campfire, small, smoke to be newly created and holding any outside references. Yeah, we do not need fires. Oh, are there fires in the stations? Maybe that is the reason why. So we are on 29 frames now. '29. Up until now, run smooth. And where are we? We are definitely on an EU server. Yeah, maybe when we join France, we have no idea where we will land, because the general advice there is we want to have low pop shards, because we do not want to get pirated too often when we are outside outpost, freight elevator. But we are now here at Obituary, so that isn't be that thing today.
Been up to anything exciting?
Yeah, we also do recording because we will do an edit at the end. Alright. 20 frames. Yeah, frame drops just with doing nothing. Hanging around and waiting.
Welcome to the ASUS vehicle retrieval system.
Maybe we need to stop the stream.
Vehicle selected.
15 frames. So ship ain't here.
Welcome to the ASUS vehicle retrieval system. Your vehicle has been moved to a storage facility.
Yeah, we will stop streaming on Twitch because too much broadband over here. We don't get enough performance.
Please visit us again. Welcome to the ASUS vehicle retrieval system. Please visit us
Oh,
again.
luckily we haven't started loading this massive bullshit. This map is bullshit. We should have activated the replay button. So what we just did, we retrieved this ship, put some cruise looks in it,
Welcome to the
then
ASUS
we
vehicle retrieval
switched the shard because we want to have some more performance, because the performance was pretty bad. And then we came back in, wanted to load the ship. It actually did say it will retrieve the ship, but the ship stayed down inside the hangar bay but not on the pad, and now it's destroyed.
Your vehicle
Yeah,
has
this
been
is
moved to a storage
CIG,
facility.
Cloud Imperium Games, best quality
Your
game
insurance
ever.
claim has been set.
Robot Space Industries,
Please visit us
the
again.
head and the decision makers behind, absolutely nuts, these people over there. Yeah, we will be right back. Looks like as if we are on the same chart. Performance is awesome. We have 30 frames. And we anyways need to wait until we got the hanger.
Welcome to the ASUS vehicle retrieval system.
Here we don't have any other large ship.
Your insurance
This is
claim has
gonna
been sent.
take a while.
Welcome to the ASUS vehicle retrieval system. Your insurance claim has been sent. Please visit us again. Goodbye.
Yeah, and frame dropped again. But what we can do is we can check if we have some cards from the executive hangar. Yeah. Still not finished loading all items. It is pretty bad. And we got one.
Please visit us again. Goodbye.
Been up to anything exciting? Well, everything happens for a reason, I guess.
How you been? You good? What's good with you? Just another day.
It's actually incredible how much time you can waste here. It's now 20 minutes into the stream. And what did we achieve here? RATHON is now here. And we're waiting on the ship that was on the pad before.
Your insurance claim has been sent. Please visit us again.
After all this time, I'm actually surprised at how much I don't miss having a place to call home.
That what you just see here,
Having that familiarity.
that is the interaction focus. You see the blue outline here? We do not move, we do not do anything, we just stand here. We press F. Now we press right click. We don't even touch the mouse, only the right click. See? Interaction focus in Star Citizen.
To the ASUS vehicle retrieval system. Your insurance claim has been sent. Your vehicle has been moved to authority.
So let's give it a try. Second one. Maybe this time it works. We got decent frames per second. Best we could get 15 frames per second. That is incredible performance. And again, we will lose the ship. We do not know if that is a problem with the ship itself, or should we have waited more. So what we can say is that is 15k wasted. Now with the inflation, of course, a lot of people say, yeah, what is 15k? It's not that much. But to make 15k, it's quite some money actually. And if you do not appreciate this 15k, then you basically just do not appreciate your energy, your life energy you spend in order to make that 15k. And of course you can say, yeah, well, with that amount of money in the Star Citizen economy, it's not that big of a deal. But we say it is a big of a deal. Because no matter what, yeah, Rath says ship is on the pad. Maybe we had been too fast. Maybe we need to wait until the ship is ready. But when you are outside of the hangar, you do not know when the ship is actually ready. So what is the worst thing that can happen tonight? Once we land on the very first location, either it says ship is destroyed, even we are just landed and are on the pad, or we store the ship like we just did and retrieve the ship, and then it will be destroyed, because then we definitely cannot retrieve the ship anymore. That will mean that we lost all our assets. And we're gonna have a look if we find the Atlas. I thought we had seen the Atlas once today, but we do not know where the Atlas actually is. Because here it's not. And this filter doesn't really work properly. So here it's not, and it takes a while. It takes way too much time to load. You see these empty tiles? We would prefer if we would have, instead of an empty, we would have the text, because then we do not mind if these icons even load at all, because this latency is much more painful. But when we have
Welcome to the ASUS vehicle retrieval system. Your insurance cut your please visit us again.
see, that's what we meant. We want to have text instead of empty. Yeah, 15 frames inside the hangar where nothing else has to be loaded but the interior of the hangar. Frames per second, 15 frames per second. Oh, massive performance. CIG at its best.
Crusader Industries, a journey worth taking. Systems on. Launch control.
Yeah, fucking eye cancer.
Landing.
Alright, so preparation. This is also new that you don't see the names of your party members. It's incredible. As an MMO, Star Citizen should be an MMO, at least they pretend to, but they make it difficult to be a proper MMO that you can have joy in. When you have a crew of more than 4 people and you do not know the armor, then you have no idea who is in front of you. gonna have a check on how many ASUS we actually have. We got way too less. Why only 374? Oh, God fucking damn it! This fucking bullshit! Jesus motherfucking Christ. Yeah, only 376. Oh fuck, give me a fucking break, you stupid motherfucker. What else besides Degnous root do we have? Hmm, 15 frames. Yeah, well, maybe. $50. 25 boxes. "12 frames per second." Why do we even do that? It hurts so much. This should be forbidden. Maybe we need to stop streaming. Maybe it's just that the problem. CSG can't handle that. It's too much for them. It's not even possible to. Of course, of course. This is gonna be a pain. Yeah, I mean, we plan to make the night through. Yeah, back in the day, it was impossible to track the beam boxes. I mean, impossible like this when you had 10 frames per second. That is the reason why we never went to New Babbage. That is the reason why we never went to Horizon, because of that bad performance. But you can have now, 1 year later, you can have 20 frames, and 20 frames is too less. Yeah, this is what you see. What you see here is 18 frames, more or less. It goes up and down from 14 frames up to 20 frames, back and forth. And we are not quite sure if we should keep the stream just to show how bad Star Citizen is. And why you should not spend any money into this. Because spending money into this, they won't increase performance here, not at all. Because they are in the business of selling virtual assets, virtual spaceships. That is where the money is coming from, beside the investors. Yeah, interestingly, YouTube says recommendation of 10 gigabytes, but we cannot. I mean, we cannot. We have 20 frames for Star Citizen. When we would increase for the stream, we would even decrease more of this Star Citizen shit here. yeah, it's not only on our side where the box is jiggling, they're also jiggling for RATHON. And he has even more frames, he has 32. And that is something that is really, really weird. He plays on a laptop, I think it's a Legion something, and we have an i9 or something with a RTX 4090, 192 gig of RAM, and that is, Star Citizen cannot handle that amount of performance. Do we have 16 frames? Yeah, I mean, considering the title, the dilemma is not the performance. But maybe we should consider that every time when we want to do mass trading, we always have some issues like that. And it really seems like as if these boxes jiggling physicalized that way. And we wonder what needs to be wrong that even with 34 frames on a notebook, the box is jiggling. Of course it is Saturday night. We just figured something else that could go wrong. Session error. Yeah, we met people this week. They were talking about space trading in Star Citizen back in the day when the boxes haven't been physicalized. And imagine that if they had known, or especially those who like every bullshit CIG implements, imagine if they would have known that the physicalized box moving would be like that. Have no idea what kind of drugs you need to take when you find this is realistic. This is a proper approach for a simulation, space trading simulation. And boxes jiggling like that. Not sure if the world feels better with that kind of drugs, because that is no quality of life, that is no quality of service, that is no quality of development, that is no quality of anything actually. It's just poor design. Although we like the idea of the physicalized stuff, but if you cannot handle that, you better don't do. But yet CIG does everything what they shouldn't. Frames. Starts hurting the eyes. Oh, it's getting more extreme. Come on. Yeah, we remember the time. I mean, we didn't do trading back then, but remember the time where the boxes haven't been that kind of physicalized, where you could land, load, deliver, land and sell. You haven't had, there was no need to touch a box. And for all those cult members who cheer every bullshit CIG is producing, if they would have known that they got something like that, best ever. best video game ever. Okay, we can agree on that. Yeah, this is not a video game. This is not even a simulator. This is just bullshit crap. Okay, performance is getting better. We have now 12 frames. And everything is so pretty smooth here. It's interesting. It really looks like as if that is physicalized information they have here. Yeah, you wouldn't believe how many minutes later that is. Don't invest, don't spend, don't waste money into Star Citizen. It's not worth. It's absolutely not worth. No! Yeah, we are gonna making a break here. And thinking about if we should end the stream here. Because our suspicion is, besides that the CIG cannot handle physicalized box they've created, they cannot handle streaming and playing at the same time. We wonder how these influencer, YouTuber, content creator do that. Do they have a separate computer? One for the streaming, one for Star Citizen? And if so, how do they capture the stream? How do they capture the footage of Star Citizen when it's on another computer? we cut the stream here, since then nobody watches anyway.